Whew. It's honestly getting so hard to keep up with AI news these days. And I'm sure a professional photographer is kicking himself again, yet again, because OpenAI has released a new image generation model. That's what we'll be testing in this video, and not just with pretty simple prompts. We'll be seeing if it understands logic, edits your photo into proper photo shoots, and also with infographic in regional languages, because OpenAI makes pretty big claims that this new model has significant improvements, particularly with Asian languages. Let's check it out. So when you log on to ChatGPT, you can click on create an image. Earlier, this facility of changing the aspect ratio was inside the Sora app, but OpenAI has discontinued it since the end of April. So you get all the customization inside the ChatGPT app or the ChatGPT website itself. Let us start with something really simple. So to see how it can just generate photorealistic images, I have this prompt about generating an image of Mumbai city at night. Let's see how it can do with respect to reflections and whether it can also generate real looking people with this new updated image generation model. Here you can see in the top right as well that it also has internet search. So it takes up the prompt, also does an internet search to see whether it can get information from the internet related to the prompt and then generate as realistic image as possible. That's a new feature that I've added. Okay, so we have the image. The quality looks really good. And you can also see that the text, which is Cafe Manter or something, restaurant and bar, well, it is readable, that's for sure. I don't know what is there after cafe. And you can also see that the Sandro taxi is there, which is good. You see Mumbai, that's really nice. And also I think this is the CST station. Looks good. It is not generating the faces of people, which is understandable, but you can also see that MH01, so the number plate is accurate. Looks good. It's not that bad. The quality also is nice, and there are reflections. The lighting is proper. It is raining. It is understood, and it does a fairly good job. For the second test, I wanted to see whether it can generate human readable text, at least in English, and clean UI. If you are into some marketing department and you want to prepare some presentation for your fintech app dashboard, so a quick AI image is something which can be really helpful. So let us see if it can do that. What I expect is that the text needs to be clean, readable, proper, and the buttons, the UI needs to be really good, aesthetic. Let's see. Okay, so it understood that the aspect ratio needs to be 16:9, so I did not have to specifically mention it. It knows that it's a dashboard, it's an app dashboard, so it has to mimic a phone screen, so that's nice. It says hi Rohan, which is not my name, but okay. Good morning, that looks okay. I don't know why, but everybody picks up 9:41 as the time because it is Apple related. Total balance, everything looks fine. The text is correct, so it does look, I think so, like a screenshot from maybe a Paytm mobile app or something. But accounts, pay, invest, profile looks nice. Yeah, available balance. So it has got all the things correct, at least the text, and that's what we expect. And it has picked up some information from the internet search, how an mobile fintech app dashboard should look like. So the pie chart and then the different buttons that you have. Looks good, looks clean. For the third test, I wanted to see whether it can understand some logical flow elements. So I wanted to mention clearly what object needs to be on what side of the image. So that signifies whether it has understood the prompt accurately. And that is what we expect: a red apple on the left, blue book in the center, and black glasses on the right. This is pretty simple. This needs to be simple. Let us see how much time it takes and how good it is. Also, there is some creative freedom with it, and it's pretty quick. Okay, straight up, that's fine. It looks good. It's a pretty simple image, but it has understood the logical flow of our prompt. When you click on create image, you by default get the instant model, but you also have the option to keep it as a thinking model. So if you want an infographic image about, let's say, generating a recipe or explaining some concept, it can take advantage of this thinking model, so it can generate accurate and more detailed images. Also, by default, you get some options like studio headshot or even you can generate comic book images, you can generate film strips, infographic posters, and even enhance your old photos. So this is something that is available by default, like few of the features which you can usually try with this new model. All right, so the use cases up until now were pretty simple and straightforward, but image editing is the use case where most people will find this tool useful, hopefully. So here I have just uploaded a selfie image of mine and taken up this prompt, which is by default in this studio headshot feature that ChatGPT has. Let us see what it can do. This is the image which I generated using Gemini Nano Banana for my LinkedIn profile picture. ChatGPT has always been a little bit skeptical with replicating human facial features. It just alters the face of the human. But Nano Banana from Google Gemini has been really good when it comes to exactly extracting the features and keeping the face as close to reality as possible. That is something I don't know how it does. But okay, so it has taken up the selfie. It does look AI generated, that for sure is clearly visible. And it has just picked up the image, changed the background, added a suit, added a blazer. So not that good, but at least it does look like me. So it did not change the facial features. That is something which we should appreciate, because this is the new model and it has to replicate the facial features if it has to compete with Nano Banana. Let us make it a little bit more complex by asking it to change the entire style of the image. So I asked the lighting to be changed to sunset with warm tones for the image I uploaded. This is what usually most people will use it for, because image editing, something which many people, let's say, do not know how to use Photoshop or any other tool, naturally might use ChatGPT or Gemini to just edit images, at least parts of the image. Let's see how it does. It has to take up the image aspect ratio and keep it the same. Okay, so it does that. Oh, okay, that is really good. Now that is something I really like. So it has kept the image and the person in frame intact. It has replicated the features as well, so I don't see anything unusual with my face, and the photo looks really good. I don't know where the sun is, apparently right into the mountains, but it does look good. And with a little bit tweaking, with a little bit enhancing the prompt, I'm sure a photographer will not be able to make out that this is AI generated image. So this looks really good. Here you can also select parts of the image to change or enhance, but that's not what we want. You can just describe the edits for a particular part of the image. But let's say that we just want to change again. We want to reiterate the changes. Let's see how that works. I asked it to add a small brown dog next to the person. Now this will be really interesting because we have already edited the image once and again asked it to edit the second version of the image. Let us see how it does. This, I think so, will definitely take some time. Okay, here it's there. Okay, so you have it. Yeah, it's a poodle, if I'm not wrong. And you can clearly make out that it's a cutout. You can see that, okay, the dog was not actually there. But let us make one final edit to this one. Okay, so after about 30-40 seconds, you have the final image. Now, the thing is that it has maintained all the edits up until this point. So it has not randomly changed something. That's good news. But you can now make out that the face has been edited, re-edited a couple of times. You can sort of make that out. But it has added snowy mountains, looks good. It has also made sure that the tree which was there has not been disrupted by the mountains randomly. The dog is still there. The image, the core image or the raw image still stays intact. Obviously, there is something wrong with this sunset. The sun's position is apparently very weird, but you have snowy mountains. They do not merge with the tree randomly. So it's good, and it has obviously kept the nature of the raw image and not just randomly changed it. Looks good, but in my opinion, I was absolutely a big fan of the first image that it generated with the sun. So you have this sunset image, then this is what we got, and this is the final version. You can sort of make out how the face sort of started changing on me a little bit, and the differences but it does a good job. At least the first image and then the addition of the dog was really good. For this test, I wanted to see whether it can generate a storybook style image with dialogues happening of a character. Let's see, I've given a prompt of creating a 4-panel comic about a young Indian inventor building a robot. So there has to be certain drama, certain dialogues, few characters. Let's see how it can do. And obviously the idea is to check whether it can build a story with proper storytelling and proper dialogues. Okay, so this has been the longest it took to generate this image. Okay, so an idea sparks, building with focus, first test, a step forward tomorrow. Okay, so it looks fine. It's very basic, but you can see that the text is proper. Big ideas change the world. To-do list. You can see that there isn't any spelling mistake. A step toward tomorrow. Yeah, tasks complete, happy to help. Okay, pretty simple, but at least it got the character right. It is comic book style. You have certain dialogues. Now let us see whether it can just completely translate this into Hindi, for example, because OpenAI says that they have improved significantly translation capabilities, especially with this infographic images with respect to Asian languages, be it Japanese, Korean, Hindi. I'm sure that it won't support regional Indian languages, but let us try Hindi. This will be a real test because, as you can remember, Gemini did a fabulous job. Okay, so after about 2 minutes, it worked. Ek vichar ki chingari. Okay, that looks really nice. Bade vichar दुनिया को बदलते हैं. Okay, ध्यान से निर्माण. Okay, it's really proper Hindi. Okay, building with focus. That's what means ध्यान से निर्माण. Okay, the language translation looks absolutely good and it is really on point. एक बेहतर कल की ओर कार्य पूरा मदद करके खुशी हुई. That's really nice. So I'm impressed. It does take really long, I would say, probably like a minute and a half, but the result looks really nice. So you can read the text, everything is translated into proper Hindi, and that's a good news. You even have the Indian flag. So this is the original image with English, and then you have this one, and it has translated literally every text. So here on the mug, you have plan, code, build, repeat. What does that become? It says Yojana, code, banao, dohrao. That's nice. That's nice. So it's really good, I would say. And the results, I mean, I'm surprised, to be honest. And it looks really nice. Great. I'm happy that it worked. It does take long, but at least it does the job. That's really impressive. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you guys learned something new. Consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one.